Let's get that fixed. Are we good? Hello there and welcome to another Wine Steward video. My name is Jim and the word of the day is brr. It is freaking cold out there. We're not going to get out of the 40s today, tomorrow, or the next day, remarkably. Might see some snow. It's kind of cool, but kind of getting tired of it. At any rate, what a great time to tell you about a non-alcoholic drink to pour over ice, right? Kind of stupid, but these just came aboard. We think they look cool. We know they taste great because we have tasted them. We're not going to sell products that we don't try out first, of course, whether it's alcoholic or not. This is not. This would have been just in time for dry January if it had gotten here a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, many of you are going dry right now or just don't do the hooch every night. So maybe you'd like to have a good glass of something that reminds you of that. And do the Phony Negroni here. It comes as a fun 2-bottle pack. Phony Negroni, what's a Negroni? Negroni is usually an alcoholic beverage and kind of bittersweet, somewhat herbal, botanical, some people might say. It's delicious over ice, maybe a little twist of citrus peel in there. And whether it's freezing outside or one of these days when it gets warm again, these will certainly come in handy for your non-drinking guests, maybe for you on a non-drinking weekday, weeknight. Anyway, we all have our ways, right? And we want to accommodate. So try the Phony Negroni. These are the best non-alcoholic solutions I've ever tasted. I had that backed up by one of our wine reps the other day too. He said, I'm not drinking this week. What can I have that you have? And I said, you got to try the Phony Negroni and please let me know, Trip. And Trip came back, walked into the office and did this. He really liked the Phony Negroni. All right. We should let you know that only 2 weeks from now, the Wines of the Old World event, not events, but series of classes that is, begins. Let's just put that rock up there to indicate what we're going to be talking about quite frequently over the course of 6 Tuesdays. So we'll do it on Tuesday the 6th, then Tuesday the, let's do the math, 20th, and we're going to do it on alternating Tuesdays all the way into May, a 6-class series, Wines of the Old World. So yeah, this takes a bit of a calendar commitment from you. It does take a financial commitment from you because whereas our events up here are usually $45 or $50 a piece, this is $245 for the whole series. We ask you to do some homework. In other words, read from the Wine Bible by Karen McNeil, 3rd edition. Please obtain that copy down at Town Center Books. If you're going to join us, we ask you to bring 3 different glass shapes to every class. And so in other words, this takes commitment from you. We want committed people, not people who are going to come and party. So we are now at 15 people. I would like to get to 28. You know what 15 people inconveniently does? It probably has me opening 2 bottles of wine. There is budget and wine math involved here. I would like to get to 28 so that we can utilize entirely those 2 bottles of each wine that we're going to show from some part of the old world. And then the TA and myself will also get to try a little bit too. So that's good bottle math. 2 bottles will take care of 30 people. Let's get it to 28 attendees plus myself and the TA, whoever that might be that evening. At any rate, here's a rock to indicate Wines of the Old World class series begins less than 2 weeks from now on, I believe, Tuesday, March 6th. That is pink granite that came from Morgon in Beaujolais, France. What's this? This is a fossilized oyster shell. I believe it came from Burgundy. What is this one? Hey, it's Jim's rock collection, right? This is blue-gray slate called Licorea. This slate is so famous it has its own name, and it comes from Priorato, Spain. So that's just to indicate that we're going to talk about locations, old world locations, and taste a good 8, 9, possibly even 10 wines at each of these classes. I'm not going to call them events. I'm going to call them classes. They're going to be a little more serious, though they'll be interactive and fun and hang loose. You know, we're not going to be that strict. I will ask you to do some reading. There might be some fun little pop quizzes, but it will be informative and fun, interactive, all that. Okay, so sign up now. Commit. I need some more signups. That would be great because of the bottle math. Now let's tell you real quick what's happening on the wine bar menu this week. Yes, we've got a new menu here. Here's the proof. Got this thing all printed up yesterday and we change it out every week just to keep things interesting. We have regulars, you know, people who come virtually every week to the wine bar and they want to see something new every time. We aim to please. Here is something that is pleasing me at the moment. This is a cava. Cava, well, let's talk about a location for a minute. An old world location called cava. Cava? Wait, I thought cava was a grape variety or maybe a drink. Well, it's not. It is a location. It's a wine location. When we talk about wines of the old world, we're frequently obsessing about where the wine is from, maybe sometimes even less than what it's made of. But in this case, this wine, as you can see, it's a rosé. Not all cavas are rosé. In fact, most are not, but this is going to be 80% Pinot Noir and 20% Parellada. That's another thing we'll talk about in that class, is like, what are the local grape varieties? And in a cava, we will teach you that a white cava is typically made of 3 different grape varieties that are not Chardonnay, that are not Pinot Noir, in other words, not the Champagne varieties. Sometimes they throw in a little bit of those, but the point is they are more indigenous. They are Macabeo, Parellada, and Xarel·lo. Starts with an X, kind of weird. Anyway, the Catalans, they have a different word for everything. Well, that's lovely. Sparkling wine of the week, beautiful label. This is Navejaran. I got to visit these guys a long time ago. It disgorged my own Magnum Cava. Don't call it champagne. Right, the White Flight. The White Flight actually begins with a rosé because our new 22 rosés are starting to arrive, and this from importer Jeff Welburn is Routas. Routas is from Aix-en-Provence, and it's going to be made of Grenache, Cinsault, and Syrah, I think, something like that. Pale pink, it's delicate, it's barely there, it's evasive, it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be like knocking you over the head with a bunch of flavor. It's supposed to like tease you, flirt with you, and run away. There it is. That is going to start off our White Flight, even though it's a dry rosé. Yeah, starting with a rosé, I know that's a little unusual, but that's what our friend from Kermit Lynch, Daniel Madeira, always does for us, so we're just taking a page out of that wine showing book. Wine number 2, something you have never heard of unless you were up here last Sunday when we did introduce this wine a little bit early. This is a 100%. What is 100%? Is that the name of the grape? No, once again, we're talking about a location in the old world. In this case, in the upper Loire Valley of France. And in fact, the Loire goes west to east and then heads south. And this is in that south end, like, this place is actually closer to Burgundy and more spiritually related to Burgundy, you might say. And it acts to me and Eric and anybody else who's tried it upstairs so far, kind of like a Chablis, kind of like Chablis meets Macon. We can explain that, we can talk about that. This is in fact made of Chardonnay and another grape, a local grape called Tressalier. And it is beautiful. If you like Chablis, try this wine that you've never heard of before, possibly. 100%, 100%. All right, that's wine number 2. And then, how about this? You guys have gotten into Vermentino. We keep showing you Vermentinos. This is from a producer that is familiar to you, perhaps, called Syrah, but this is a higher end one. Higher end meaning, oh, $22. Can you deal with that? At any rate, we've carried their other one downstairs called Limizzani from Syrah. They make several quality levels of Vermentino. This is a bump up, and you can taste that. It is beautiful, more intellectual, but deliciously so. Vermentino from Sardinia, northern Sardinia. Gallura is the precise area, this Vermentino growing area. Good, good. Now, let's show you. Did I not drop it? Am I showing you the, I can't, I got this light in my eye, all right? So this is called Gros Ventre. Gros Ventre is a domestic producer, as French as it sounds. These folks are up in Healdsburg. They use grapes from different parts of California to make beautiful wines. They make fantastic Pinot Noir, more on that later. And this is a blend that starts with Chenin Blanc and has, I think, 4 or 5 other things in it, including things like Grenache Blanc, touch of Viognier, maybe even a dab of Riesling. It's dry wine. When I smell it, I smell beautiful Chenin Blanc, perhaps the likes of which I might be smelling from Vouvray in the Loire Valley of France. But this is in fact a beautiful domestic wine from a small producer. We love to respect that. We love to show you small production wines, people who don't add a bunch of crap. Wines that you won't see down the street on a grocery store shelf. Nothing wrong with those down there, but we want to be special for you. So Gros Ventre, come try this beautiful Chenin Blanc based white wine, sorry. Right, now final wine of the flight. Let's speed this up. We're gonna show you Eden Rift twice. In other words, there's a wine from them in the red flight as well. Eden Rift is a very, very cool property that's been growing grapes in California since, I believe, 1849. And they are where? In the Napa Valley? No. Sonoma? No. Where are they? They're south of Hollister. They're kind of on the backside of the Gavilan Mountains, not far from Calera. And in fact, if you've ever heard of Calera and you know the story of Josh Jensen looking all over California for some Burgundy to make like Burgundian style Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, and he tried to buy this, and when he couldn't buy it, he went down the street and bought the property that is now the home of Calera. So Eden Rift near Calera, beautiful Chardonnays, very elegant, white Burgundy style. Really like this wine. Eden Rift, this is their particular bottling called Valiance, because the Valiant family once farmed there, V-A-L-L, not one L, but two. It's the name of a family that farmed once at Eden Rift. Now, speaking of Eden Rift, let's conveniently transition over to the Red Flight and tell you that the first wine of this fragrant flight, I chose wines that will go very, very well in the fat glass. I don't have it near me, but you know what I mean. The big New World Pinot Noir glass will be utilized for all 5 of these wines in the Red Flight. And this Pinot Noir from Eden Rift, beautiful, delicate, fully ripe, but pristine. It is a beautiful, balanced California Pinot Noir from not Sonoma, not Santa Barbara, but south of Hollister. Interesting area. Interesting story. Let's now take you to another highly scented, fragrant wine from a Rhone vintage, Southern Rhone. Yeah, we're going right across the Rhone River from Châteauneuf-du-Pape to visit a place called Lirac. Lirac in 2019, just like all of its neighbors in the Rhone. In 19, the wines were deep purple, dark, rich, yummy. In 2020, they're a little more levitated, a little more fragrant and lithe, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. This is a wine that you can smell and savor out of a Pinot Noir glass. Think of Pinot Noir when you're having it. It's Grenache based with some Syrah. Beautiful wine from La Fonde, Domaine La Fonde, Roque, Épine, Lirac, all that fancy verbiage. Now, yeah, look at that. This is another wine that is appearing twice on the menu. Gros Ventre, back to that. The guys who make that Chenin Blanc white I told you about also are making this wine that honors a French style of wine, a Burgundy style of wine, a recipe wine from Burgundy called Passe-de-Grane. More on that later, except to say Passe-de-Grane is simply a blend of Gamay and Pinot Noir. And so they're honoring that Burgundy tradition here in this Sonoma Coast wine. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's roughly half and half. Gamay, Pinot Noir, Gros Ventre. Really nice. The next wine is taking us back to France, to a place that many of you have never heard of. I certainly want to go visit it someday. It's Languedoc. Languedoc is in the south of France along the Mediterranean, but this part of Languedoc is well inland and up. So we're at about 1,500 feet up and many miles inland from the Mediterranean here. And this is where we have mineral-rich soils that are not as fertile, and so the grape has to struggle a little bit more. This is going to be Grenache, Syrah, and I believe some Carignan. My old friend Carignan is also represented in this wine called Oublié. Les Vignes d'Oublié. I think Les Vignes Oublié. There's no de in there. At any rate, beautiful wine, funny name. This is imported by Kermit Lynch. I love this wine. It's fantastic in a Burgundy glass. Very fragrant. Good stuff. Last wine takes us up a little bit in power. And what would that be? That would be a Syrah from Roussac. These guys are neighbors of Stolpman. Stolpman Vineyards is in Ballard Canyon in Santa Barbara County. And virtually next door is Roussac making this wine. If you look carefully at the bottle, in the glass, or I don't know what you call that when it's embossed. It's not embossed, right? At any rate, there's raised lettering in the glass that say Ballard Canyon. And if you're making Syrah in Ballard Canyon, you are permitted by the local wine law to use this particular bottle, stating, yeah, it's basically an advertisement for an area that many people have yet to hear about. So it's good marketing. At any rate, Roussac, delicious. If you don't think you like Syrah, try this, and I think this will change your mind. It's not scary, it's comfortable on the palate, nice dark color, and it's a great way to end the flight. Now there's one more wine that we're offering on the menu, if I can find it. Where are you? Okay, sorry, gotta run away for a second. Ah, come on, Madison, where are you? Got it. I've got an empty bottle somewhere, maybe. Oh my God. Oh, maybe it's over here. Yep, there's one. Okay, look, it's a very clever, beautiful label. This is from Madison Vineyard, a winery that you probably haven't heard of yet, but I think you're going to be hearing more about them. They are growing grapes in the Livermore Valley, Tony and Jen, that is, Deluman, and they have a Cabernet in the meantime from the Napa Valley. Before they release their Rhone-oriented wines from the Livermore Valley, they wanted to get a wine out there and show you their name, and so this is ironically a Livermore Valley producer making a Napa Valley Cabernet that's delicious, it's mellow. This is offered by the glass. If all you want is a glass of Cabernet, get into the Madison. It's delicious. I'm out of breath. Thank you for watching and listening, and we hope to see you at the wine bar soon. And please don't forget my rocks. No, really, I mean, yeah, let's just do this one more time. Look, see this? This is from a place that makes really, really good wine, and some people say that you can taste this rock in that wine. Kind of cool, right? Let's do that at the Wines of the Old World class series coming up. 2 Tuesdays away. It's coming. Sign up. Thank you. Bye.